Shall we start?
Yes, I think we already have some 10-12 participants, so we are good to start. So, first of all, thank you, Rajni ma'am and Ajit sir, to giving this opportunity to us to host this investor interaction. And given that the results have been recently announced and the earnings calls have been done, so ma'am, would you like to give any opening remark or should we start with the Q&A straight?
After we had declared the results of Q1 for the current financial year. So I think we can straightforward go to the questions.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. So, uh, good afternoon, everyone. So, to set the tone, I'll probably ask one or two questions, and of course, all of you can raise hand whosoever find any interest to ask the question to the management. So, first question from my side. Basically, on the catering side, what is the development that is happening on the unit, given that we have seen significant ramp up on the volume on the passenger side? We understand that in the past, the revenue run rate has been pegged to lower passenger data. But since that is improving, what are the progress we are seeing on the various catering units and the expected how the MLF is increasing in such cases for both static and onboarding contracts?
A very good afternoon to everyone. Uh, it is the catering, yes, catering operations are increasing. But as of now, in mobile catering, it is only the ready to eat food that is permitted. Cooked food has not been permitted owing to the ongoing COVID in many states. So we are waiting instructions from the Ministry of Railways in the matter. As far as the license fee is concerned, competition is increasing. Many people are participating. Good tender offers are being received. License fee is also on some incremental side. Good trains are getting good license fee. But the trains which are being ordered, as of now, we are running more trains. You can say as we have around when last time I did the con call, we had 316 trains running with the pantry car. Today we have 325 in the day 15 days interval. And train side vending trains we have around 272 as compared to 256. So that makes the total of 597, nearly 600 trains. So the number of trains is increasing as the footfall at the station is also increasing. Booking is also increasing. So license fee is actually not directly proportional, but it has some positive effect on the license fee, one can say. So perhaps we may hear some good news in the coming year, in the coming days, as far as the catering is concerned. You're mute.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you for that. Uh, any other participant who have a query, please do a raise hand. I'll take one question from the
अक्षय फोकस कर दिया करो.
yeah, I'll take one question which I have received from a client who could not attend this session. His question is basically that the booking data, the PRS data in the last few 10-day data that keep on coming has been kind of getting stagnated, or you can say that it's kind of a flattish for last 10-day period in two successive period. So can we say that
Some signal issue it seems.
are you able to hear me?
No, I can, but the last two lines I have not been able to.
Okay, I'll turn my video off. Probably that may help. So, what I was saying is that since the last 10-day data that on the PRS data, which is coming out to be flat for last two period, can we say that the number of train increase have been lesser in the last 20 days, and the capacity utilization is moreover optimized, and that's why we are not seeing further growth in the passenger traveling data?
Not exactly. Yes, also and no, also. Because if you see the July data, the average number of tickets booked had been around 3.4 crores, 3.44 crores. So in the month of August, we have added more trains. So the number of tickets is going to be more because the average number of ticket is better in the month of August due to the festival season in this period. So there is, yes, we have reached at the top of the sinusoidal curve, one can say. So it is not going to be flattish. There is going to be some increment because not all the trains have started yet. As of now, in the month of August, when last we did our earning con call was around 2750 trains. So after that, few more trains have been added. So the figure is on the increasing side, but the increase exponent is little, I think, slower, and may pick up momentum after few days when
Okay,
more trains are added further.
right, right. Okay, I'll take the next question from Abhay. Abhay, please, you can unmute and go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Thank you, ma'am, for being on this call. I had many like basic questions. First, on the ticketing side. So, how many like pre-COVID? How many trains or how many total like reserved tickets were there? And now, what is the status of that pre-COVID level? How many trains are running, or how many reserved tickets are basically being booked? Not through IRCTC, but overall. Ma'am, I think you're on mute.
I can tell you about the reserve segments, but I can give you a overall picture in this manner that the revenue what railways are getting is, I think, 60% of the revenue in the passenger segment comes from the reserve segment, but the number of the passenger is coming from the unreserved segments. So both, as we provide, railways are providing a lot of subsidy in the reserved segment and unreserved also. That is why there is a lot of price variation is also there. But when you ask about the number of trains in the pre-COVID period, they were around 3,500 trains. And as of now, we are running around 2750 trains in the month of August. When last we did, I think 15 days back, we had combined the number. After that, few more trains have been added, so it may be around 2800 trains. So 2800 trains against the 3500 trains, so we are short of 700 trains. When you ask for the booking in the reserve segment, we have better booking as compared to the previous year because our average earlier was around 8.5 lakhs. And if you ask me, then during the COVID period, it was even bad. It was bad, but in this period, because of the conversion of 2S into the reserve segment, we have better bookings, and our average has been around 11.5 lakhs a day.
Okay, this is helpful. Thanks, ma'am. But there is also now what was earlier general category that also is mandated to be reserved now. So how much extra number of tickets or are you able to like passengers are booking through that category?
Nearly 40%, 40 to 42%.
And this is now likely to stay this way, or you think that, say, maybe after a year it will move back to what it was earlier?
I cannot comment upon that, but generally, when revenue comes, who leaves? I can only say in general.
Okay, okay. But the what I wanted to understand was there would be many passengers who would like just want to travel, would take a general ticket and whether they are able to sit or not, but they would travel through general ticket.
No, no, I beg to differ. I beg to differ.
Okay.
Uh, person actually, class of travel is a passenger choice, and a passenger has a very, very specific choice. Having worked in this sector for last 30 years, I can tell you, the person who travels in the second AC, he travels in the second AC only. Who wants to travel in the first AC, they would like to travel in the first AC. The general class people are because there are no unreserved ticket as of now, so they are rather under
Okay.
compelling circumstances to go for the reserve kind of a thing. But
Okay.
if the comfort is there and you are getting a place to sit and the assurance of the at least place to sit is there, so people will opt for second S because the price difference is not much in the
Okay.
general 2S and the general category, what you call. So
Okay.
passenger has a very specific choice. जिसको जहां जाना है, जिसकी जो choice है, that they take.
That the thing. Okay. Okay. And the convenience fee that is charged for this 2S
That
category is
is
same
per
as,
PNR. That is per
yeah.
PNR. It has nothing to do with the second class and or the 2S. We
Okay.
have two segments. One is the sleeper segment where the second S is also covered. Then we have the
Okay.
AC segment. So that is how we are
Okay.
charging.
Okay. Okay. Now, the second thing I want to understand was on the rail near segment. So, if you can, over here, if more details can be shared, like what all business models you have. I understand some plants are operated by you, some plants are by franchisee, some plants are like various business models are there, and in each business model there is like different pricing mechanism at what price you buy and at what, like, I think selling price is same for all the so if you can explain that.
I will like to tell you in a very brief because otherwise the entire this con call will be for the rail need. You give me 2 hours, I will speak for 2 hours.
Okay, sure,
So
ma'am.
rail need is a very very profitable and a very sacrosanct business. Especially it is very close to my heart
Mhm.
because I have been running few plants. We have two models. One is the departmentally owned plant and second is the PPP model plant. In the departmentally owned plant, as you know, as the name itself says, we have constructed the plant, we have bought the machinery, we are maintaining it, but we have outsourced the its maintenance to someone and appointed a service provider for production also and for supply of water also. We call it for supply, we call it CFA, where the who does the distribution of water at the stations for us. Then we have further subdivided those categories into further 2 3 business models. There every procurement, everything is done by us, and we ensure that the water reaches to the customer through our plants. But in the PPP model, the land is bought by us. We give it on tender on key turn basis to our service provider, where all these logistics and other arrangements are to be done by them. There we give certain support in the form of a 8 crores per plant, where we tell them to make a plant that can produce around 7,500 bottles a day, 7,500 liter bottle a day. That is 1 liter bottle. When I talk about that, it is 1 liter bottle. So generally, and there are certain parameters, certain operational parameters. 8 crore support is given, capital support, in the phased manner. Machinery, etc., all is to be done as per the norms and SOP decided by the IRCTC, because they are going to sell the brand called Real Need, which has a BIS certification, and all production has to be done under that banner. Our supervisors, our officers are there to supervise the operation. Logistics and other work, etc., has to be monitored by them. But as far as the captive market for them is concerned, we coordinate fully and provide them the market to sell. They need not go for a competition. And we have our own trains, our own units, railways own units where we sell this water. So we produce two kinds of water. One is the 500 ml water and one is 1 liter bottle. More is the 1 liter bottle that we sell. As of now, we are having around 14 plus 1, that is 15 plants. Una has been made operational in the last month only. Today we are on the last day of the month. So uh, out, and we intend to make 4 more plants in this year. So that is going to make 18 plants by the end of this financial year with us, where we will be completing the requirement of the Indian Railways to the tune of 80%. So if we bring more rail near water or optimize the operation of this, if the need comes, we will make more or we'll try to optimize the operation of these plants. We also have a plan to convert this our departmentally owned plant to PPP plant. We're looking into the profit margins are more in the PPP plants. So that is how this is. One can tell you in brief that how the model is there uh, for working in the railway plants.
And
And
sorry.
no, please continue. Please continue.
So in this average realization for IRCTC per liter of bottle is around 8 rupees and the cost is around 5.5 rupees. Is that the right assumption or no? It changes and it may change in future, or like what are the variables
When
that one
the
needs to
when the
understand?
costing increases, when suppose the electrical price increases, electricity price increases, or the PET bottle, the preform cost increases at the back end, so then our profitability gets affected. Or any if, some taxation changes, again the profitability, because it is not one factor, you have more than 10 factors which are affecting its profitability. One is the raw material cost, in any case it is going to affect the profitability. Then the logistics and the other things are also going to affect. Then the distribution also, if the distribution is not happening the way it happened in the case of a COVID, then the production goes down, then your the cost doesn't get distributed, so your overheads increases. At that time also the profitability reduces. I think it is but put together, um, Railneer is a profitable venture. RCTC has been has been making profit out of that. And very recently the in catering we not only have reduced our losses, in Railneer we have crossed the break even, and now we are in profit, marginal profit of 1 crore. So maybe the coming quarter we may do good in the Railneer because the requirement has also gone up.
Okay. Lastly, over the last, say, 1 year, has there been any cost because of COVID which are like maybe deferred or were not recognized and are pending, say, some negotiation, some litigation, or some rework, which maybe when the things normalize, at that time it will be decided, maybe license fees or some revenue share or anything in any segment.
Most of the factors we have already disclosed in our balance sheet, and they are there in the remarks. And most issues we have covered in that. We don't have anything
Okay.
more to add in that.
Thank you, ma'am. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Abhay. Any other guest who would like to ask a question at this point can raise their hand and unmute themselves to ask the question. Yes, Divyesh, you can go ahead, please.
Thank you for taking my question. Can you share some light on the airline volume, booking volume, the hotel booking volumes, and the bus booking volumes, and how are they shaping up?
They are shaping up well, although there are still restrictions, you know, that on the international travel and on the visa. So outbound travel is not happening. And the inbound is also not happening. So booking at the air is at I think 30 to 40% of the earlier pre-COVID levels. We have not achieved the earlier levels. Although we are growing, we are improving every day. Now the airlines have also become very sensitive. They have started coming up with the offers, and we hope with the offers coming in, the air traveler will be low, and we may get more booking resultantly, and we would also be promoting along with them. So this is about the air. Since the need-based travel is happening, like the leisure travel is not happening, so the hotel booking, though it is much better than the COVID level, but it is yet to achieve the pre-COVID level. As our own properties like IRCTC Hotel in Katra have picked up very well, Ginger has picked up well. We have started getting the bookings. The bookings in the buses have also gone up to the tune of 200, 300, 200, 250s per day. But we are still in process of promoting, and we are in talks with the Red Bus and Abhi Bus. Abhi, you know, has been acquired by Ixigo now. So we are talking with our partners so that we can lure our customers to use these alternative modes. This will go side by side along with the ticketing. And the distress inventory module is also ready. Very soon we are going to have that. So at that time, we hope that our booking in the year will go up.
Can we take next
That's
question
that's
from Sham?
Yeah. Hi, ma'am. This is Shyam Sundar from Sundaram Mutual Fund. Thanks for taking the question, ma'am. After the call per se, or earnings call, I think the. I'm sorry. Am I audible?
You are.
Okay, okay. The private train tender was scrapped per se by the government. So, if you can share on your thoughts on that, how was it tilted in, because there were not many final bids that came through. What is the rethinking now? What were the challenges earlier? I mean, what was the problem? That prevented many of these the initial there was so much interest, and suddenly that died off, towards the later part. If you can share what happened and what is the rethinking there.
Mr. Shamsundar, I would like to inform you that IRCTC has not received any communication from the Ministry of Railways about scrapping of tender. Firstly, it is only in the newspapers, like you, I have also read that, or through social media, that it is being scrapped. So I will not be able to comment upon this, because in tenders, many things are not known to public. What is happening till that time we receive our BG back, we cannot say that it has been scrapped, because when it is done, the EMD and the guarantees are been normally are returned to the participants. So this is, and what is going to be the final shape of it? As of now, we are in process of, that we had already floated an expression of interest, and where NIF is going to be our partner. We are in talks with them to have a strategic partnership. So our efforts in that direction is on, and we are still waiting decision from the Ministry of Railways.
Sure, ma'am. Ma'am, how will be the profitability in running this private train? Of course, it varies from cluster to cluster, but you would have thought about, from a company level, how will be the profitability in this segment compared to your other existing, say, obviously the ticketing segment will always be the most profitable. So
This
how?
is going to be very new kind of a business, and it has its own challenges. The model, Tejas model, where we are working today, is the rolling stock is acquired. We have acquired from Indian Railways. There we had where lot of expertise is already available in the country and within our own system, for which we simply had to pay the money. While in this model, everything has to be done by the concessionaire. So the models are going to be very different. So comparison wise, profitability, at what occupancy level the profitability will come, may not be appropriate at this juncture. First, I think this is too early and half baked, going to be half baked if I comment upon that. So let's wait for the result to be declared by Ministry of Railways. Then we will be more than happy if we have participated in the tender and quoted some license. We might have done some due diligence. So you trust on that.
Sure, ma'am. Definitely. Just one other question, ma'am. We do have a lot of these B2C partners as well, like Ixigo, for example. I'm just taking a name here. Now, do you see them as, competition for your own ticketing, or you see them as an, incremental revenue model per se? Because obviously we also gain from the agent commissions therein. So how do you think of the evolution of this B2C model per se, just more from a railway ticketing perspective? How do you think about it?
See, that so far IRCTC has been a monopoly, but in the competition of Commission of India, the case that we had won a few years back, there it was said monopoly, but it is a self-created competition by IRCTC in the form of a B2C partners. This on one side, it provides a very good platform for the other OTAs to come and work with us, because it's the time when we should work with us. But as you say that it can be a kind of a threatened competition for the IRCTC. I don't think so, because when a B2C partner, when a person is booking through B2C partners, end of the day they have to come to my site and book it with the same user ID and login. So we don't lose customer, we don't lose user either. Rather, we earn 12 rupees extra per booking. And any cross marketing done by us is counted, and we do have a complete check over there, and we make money out of that also. But there are, on certain conditions, there have been certain times when some or other mischief is done by any of the OTAs is taken up severely by us, and we at times we I think and we block them also from providing the API services of IRCTC. So
Sure.
it's time to work together. B2C partners are good partners to work with, but we have to keep a tab so that they don't cross their limit and work in the same fashion and the same manner for which they have been appointed, and not to cross the boundaries.
Sure, ma'am. One other way to think of this is, for example, while we are end of the day, we don't lose any customer because they will have to book via IRCTC only. But your other offerings, like for example, the airline ticketing or the bus ticketing, now those are some of the cross-selling opportunities that may arise in the future for IRCTC. Now, if these customers become customers of the OTA rather than IRCTC, indirectly over the next few years, it's sort of a lost opportunity for IRCTC. Yeah, is that a
Yes, I
fair?
don't disagree with you that there could be a loss of business opportunity there for IRCTC. In fact, it happened once with us, and we got it settled right very recently. Because we were losing our air booking because of one or two OTAs also. These OTAs are there for only for the train bookings with us.
Correct.
So any inventory, if they are selling the cross selling where they are going to compete with us, we are now going to now stop them, and we have recently taken few actions where we are stopping to promote the similar kind other businesses through using our services. So we may forego some revenue in the form of a cross selling, but at the same time we would like to retain more of our own OTA business rather than promoting them. And you are right in saying so. So IRCTC has to take a stern action, and we are doing it. We have
Wonderful,
started
ma'am.
doing in the last 3 months. We were doing it. You will soon see the results.
Very good, ma'am. Wonderful. Thank you very much. I'll call back. Thank you.
Yeah, next we can take Vishwa. Please go ahead, Vishwa.
Hi, ma'am. Good afternoon. Thank you for
Hi, good afternoon,
taking my
Vishwamitra
question.
ji.
Thank you. So I wanted to understand one thing, which is this: how critical is speed in the first come first serve method of bookings, especially for Tatkal bookings early in the day? Is it a matter of seconds or less, or how is it? Because we've heard sometimes travel agents, as you say, create mischief. They may create multiple IDs to get their bookings in, and so on. So how critical is this speed factor really?
Uh, System is designed in such a manner that it can handle a big quantum load. But when during the festival period, or when the ARP changes, advanced reservation period changes, suddenly there is a spurt in the demand, and you get many bookings at one time in the first 2 to 5 minutes of the Tatkal opening. At that time, you might be reading that the people are taking away that, but certain checks have been provided. It is not that easy to barge in the system. If I start counting the checks, there are around 27 checks in this site. First is the agents are not allowed to book in the first 15 minutes. Secondly, they are restriction placed through the Aadhaar card also. If you have linked with your Aadhaar, you can book 12 tickets. Otherwise, you can book only one ticket. One PNR can be booked using one mobile number. Like that, many such restrictive checks have been provided on the site, which doesn't promote, which is not very easy. But people say that it is being done and people are using certain tools. You might be reading somewhere like you, I also read, and using these tools they try to book the tickets and they use machine tools or bots to book the tickets. It is we try to take every effort, and for that we have already provided captcha services. We have, in the normal times we have an LP captcha, then we have our own captcha created by Chris at the time of a booking, where we try to reduce the speed and we try to identify the difference between the machine created request and a man created request. Any request, there is a certain parameter. If any request crosses or is less than that parameter, it is considered as a machine request. Such requests are declined by the system itself. Then we keep on checking many various checks, and we do cross checking within our own system, and try to verify within 6 months. Every user we try to verify again their mobile and their email addresses to check the authenticity. This keeps happening, and we then now we have come up with the V3 captcha provided by the Google, which is an invisible captcha and which is much more effective. After that we have not heard much about this, and the Tatkal booking is still happening and we are able to handle the load. Then very recently we have also given many security checks like DDoS mitigation devices we have provided, and we have also given them the cache, so that the inquiries are handling through the cache services. New cache server has also been provided. We are upgrading our system on regular basis so that we are able to handle the load. Tatkal handling may not be a big issue, but if such issue comes, they are handled severely and people are taken up. Even the FIRs are also lodged. And our RPF, there is separate organization who helps us, because end of the day we are selling railways inventory. And as per the article, as per the Railway Act, we cannot discriminate on the for selling the tickets. Everyone has to be given and put on an equal priority. There is no first come first. There is always a first come first serve as far as the PRS is concerned, because end of the day the requests are landing on the PRS pipeline, and there only the first come first serve happens. So no priority change can be done at any level by anyone. It is only the machine that can send the request in a faster manner as compared to others. That is what they can do maximum, for which we have provided captcha tools, our own captcha, V3 captcha and NLP captcha. Then we have secured our site from such attacks so that people cannot deface us. And fortunately, I'm proud to say that they have not been able to deface us even once from the day we were born in 2002. It's only one when the healthy signatures were there in the 2002 when we were recently born. So this is all about how are how we have positioned ourselves to handle such requests.
Thank you, ma'am. Just a couple of follow-ups. So if we look at the incoming volume of booking requests and you talk about certain percentage would be declined due to them being identified as bots or similar. So what portion would be, declined? What portion would not pass through?
I don't see decline. It is going up till the 2S is there. And if the ministry changes things changing this 2S into the unreserved segment, which may not, to my understanding, may not be that easy, because it's a revenue to ministry also.
No, I mean, what portion of the booking requests would be declined due to them being identified as bots or similar?
That figure I am not having offhand. Maybe I can give it to later. They are
Okay.
declined, but I can certainly share. I'll ask my team and share with you.
Yeah, ballpark number would be useful. Okay. Uh, and also, ma'am, one more question on this B2C OTA kind of scene. So I think if do you see that the OTA share would increase in future years, given the necessary controls and etc. that you would have to put in? But overall, is it fair to say the OTA share is likely to increase?
Mm, if I share the figure, how much is B2B and how much B2C and how much is actually B2C is generally OTA share comes under B2C only.
Yeah.
So B2C share in any case is going to increase and the B2B share is going to reduce. Because the common man is now well aware and the internet accessibility in the country has increased. People have learned how to book air ticket or how to book the bus ticket, how to book rail ticket very easily. People will like to access the main site rather than uh, accessing the B2C site. Although we are at a much profit, we are at a better profit once it is booked through B2C because we are getting 12 rupees per ticket more in the B2C. So there is a gradual transition, and as of now, in the B2C segment, around 20%, 19.35 was the last figure percentage in the month of July. In the financial was the figure. 19% we were booking through B2C partners, and rest normal user booking was happening around. It was around 45% through, that is through mobile, through Rail Sarthi, through our iOS app. It was happening at the tune of a 45%, and 18% was our normal website user booking happening through our website. So put together, this brings me 83%. Rest 17% was coming through other resources, through our e-governance partner, ITA agents, and B2B partners put together. So this B2C booking is only 19%. Rest is happening through all resources. बहुत जाएगा खींचेगा तो ये 30% तक जाएगा. Rest will continue to happen because other sources are also there. That is why we think we don't put all our eggs in one basket. We try to distribute the load wherever we can.
Ma'am, you said people would prefer or like to access by the main site, the IRCTC site versus OTA sites. So what could be the main reasons for this?
I didn't get your question.
I think you said people would like to access the main site, the IRCTC site, right? Versus other sites, say OTA platforms and so on. So what could be the
Because
main reason?
additional commission is not there. There they have to pay 20 rupees extra or 40 rupees extra. There in our side, they have to only pay the convenience charge of the IRCTC, which any case is already there in the B2C partners.
Sure. Okay.
Why should people pay more if you given me? Because I've seen young boys and girls, they look for 50 rupees, 40 rupees margins, and they select the things which is cheaper.
Sure.
And
Makes
yeah,
sense.
and our website has been recently upgraded also, and we have made it more user friendly. So people are accessing it. It's not that they are not accessing B2C. They are. We have multiple channels. Anyone can use. We have provided so that the load at one end is not there. If suppose one channel fails, the alternative channels are available, which we have to provide because it's a very big site and the load has to be distributed. That is why we have so many banks, so many payment options, so many channels, B2 and so many service providers, so that people are at least able to book using one or another platform.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much. And I would look forward to that percentage decline from bots and so on figure out.
Hopefully so.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Vishwa. Rakesh, please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Am I audible?
You
Yes, you
are.
are.
Yeah. Thank you, Rajni ma'am, for your time. You have always been kind with your time. I had one question on the UPI discounts. Uh, Now it's more, I think, almost 1.5 years since we have been running this discount, and there's a fair bit of UPI penetration which seems to have happened. So, any thoughts on rolling back that discount at some point of time, and what is the currently the impact of that UPI discount on our financials?
It is not a very because we lose money when when the UPI progresses, but at the same time you have to look for Atmanirbhar Bharat also, and UPI is that initiative. And our 60%, 62% stake is still with the government of India. So we cannot behave like a complete commercial entity. So IRCTC as of now has no intention of giving away, taking away this UPI discount. And yes, transaction volume is going up in the UPI. In overall country as such, it is going up.
So are you still seeing an increase in the UPI transaction, or the rate of growth is now slowing down? The reason I ask is at some
I
point
think
of
let's
time
not
it
be
became.
that greedy because our booking volumes are going up. In any case, our income in the internet security segment is already growing. Yes, it is subsiding the losses made by the other businesses also, which are also picking up.
Fair enough.
So let's not put more burden, and let's be the part in the nation's growth also. Let the
Yes,
Atmanirbhar Bharat Rupee platform and NPCI grow the way are required to. So
fair enough.
थोड़ा उन्हें margin देना चाहिए. I believe in
Fair.
that, and our board
No,
also
no,
believes in
I,
that.
I fully agree, ma'am. I just wanted to get a sense on that. Are we reaching that stage when the UPI growth itself has sort of plateaued out and there is no
I will ask
incremental
you back
benefit of.
question. Rakesh ji, I will ask you other questions. How many offers you get on a RuPay card? Still we use RuPay card. But that does not mean Visa and Master have lived their utility to live in.
Sure.
So it's time to stay together and be together.
Understood, ma'am. And
Ji.
ma'am, you had explained earlier about the two different models in the rail near side. Any any understanding you can give how the margin would different for IRCTC in these two bottles? Is it way to simplify that, maybe you're earning, let's say, 2 rupees per bottle? Uh, so any how the margins differ in both the models, if you can give us some understanding.
If I recall correctly, because I don't have these calculations rightly available with me, before COVID I can tell you, because COVID के बाद से तो थोड़ा changes आ गया, because other overheads have gone up. I think we were earning 1.72 rupees, 1 and 150 rupees the bot in the departmentally owned plant. And it was nearly, I think, 2 rupees some paisa in the PPP plant per bottle. Profit margins were that, if
Okay.
I recall correctly.
Okay, that's very counterintuitive to me, because I thought that the your own department model have higher capital employed, and therefore logically speaking you should have higher margins. But it seems that's not the way it is.
No,
Any
because
particular reason?
overheads are more. Overheads are more in the
Okay.
departmental plants.
Okay. So you would aspire to have more and more plants run on the PPP model so that you
Yeah,
can.
we are thinking of converting these departmental plants into, because these departmental plants are generally made in the land being made from the railways, and the cost of the land and the leasing structure of the land is higher than the states. So that increases our overheads.
Understood, ma'am. That's a very fair point. One last question on you had mentioned about the total trains available pre-COVID was about 3,500. So is it fair to say that this 8.5 lakh tickets, what we used to do in the pre-COVID times, that is basically the let's say the capacity or the number of seats relative to those 3,500 trains? Is that the right way to sort of extrapolate on an average in the system?
See, 8.5 lakh was the average inventory being booked by IRCTC through the reserved segment every day.
Yeah.
But when we book for a day, that does not mean we book for that particular day. We book for the other days also. So
Yes.
generally, the inventory made available was that only.
Yes.
Today, the addition has been made by the another class. So that is, an 42% has been added by the second S.
Yes.
That is what I meant when I said this.
Okay. Okay. Understood. Understood. Thank you very much, ma'am. I'll get back in the queue.
Yeah, thank you, Rakesh. If there is any question, you may possibly raise your hand at this point. Okay, I'll take one question from my end, which I received from a participant who could not attend this session, which is similar to what even Rakesh asked, related to uh, untapped pricing power, which IRCTC holds. So on the UPI, obviously, you shared your thoughts, and we respect that. incrementally I would like to understand on two different elements. One is that we have this per PNR based pricing versus per passenger based pricing, which we typically see in air ticketing or any other format. So is there any contention to move to per passenger based convenience fee rather than sticking to per PNR?
Again, I think investors are trying to be greedy. I respect that you take care of the company's financial structure. But at the same time, we had never done that earlier. Per passenger would have been a real burden on the customer. So we would prefer to continue with the per PNR. However, our focus will now shift because convenience other than non-convenience fee resources also, other than convenience fee resources also, where we are working very hard and we very soon you will see some results. See, a plateau will come one day. One day it will definitely come. So we have to explore other resources like cross-selling, marketing, monetization, everything we will have to explore. But bringing it that PNR, making it that passenger wise, instead of PNR wise non-convenience fee is going to put lot of burden on the customers who are actually booking. If you ask, the e-services are generally not chargeable in the industry. Earlier it was not, and way back in when the digital India movement was happening, these charges were withdrawn also. Generally, e-services are cheaper. Why to put another burden of convenience fee resources like convenience fee and other things on this? It's only to meet our own expenses and to upgrade the system and bring it at a level that the services are provided seamlessly to the customers. IRCTC has been given a freedom of deciding the convenience fee. So IRCTC, in the name of that, cannot put more burden on the customer and prefer to continue with the existing kind of a system where some additional gain can also be provided to UPI customers, knowingly fully that UPI payments will go up. We would be focusing more on the non-convenience fee resources rather than putting more and more burden on our customer.
Yeah, I completely appreciate, ma'am, your thoughts on that. The reason why we sound little greedy is that, these are the same set of people who are possibly watching 100 rupee, 200 rupee ticket in the multiplex, and they're same people eating McDonald burger and whatever, and paying 35 rupees to Zomato for delivery, for eating, cold food.
Very right,
So
very
I
right,
think, so
very
I
right.
think. Yeah, and the best part in our case is that of course we have a lot of big janta who would for whom this 15 rupees or 20 rupees matter, but they obviously have the option of going to the station and book the ticket without spending that
And
money.
yes, and that
So
will continue to be there. Offline mode is
right.
not going to go away.
Agree. So I am saying that for the price sensitive guy, railway as a department is definitely taking care of people who are price sensitive as well. And at the same time, convenience has to be charged. Given that even if somebody put a start to its scooter and reach a station, at least he will spend 20-30 bucks for that trip alone. So at least that much we can definitely charge a customer for booking a ticket, and the total transaction a person may do in a year may not be more than 2 to 3, except for people who are traveling for business or who are staying away from the home. So I mean, it does not impact anybody's overall annual disposable income in any meaningful manner. So that's the whole thought. But yes, I respect your social angle as a government organization, and to boost up convenience matlab, this facility for your thing. And lastly, one quick question, and I see a lot of people in the queue. Is that on the rail neer side also, our price is this 15 rupees since I guess FY12. This was last revised from rupees 12 to 15 rupee a bottle. And again, I know the quality of water that we have on the rail Neer is of the highest standard. But you also may appreciate that our Indian or maybe any consumer have this mindset कि जो महंगा है उसका quality अच्छा है. So although we are doing a great service by offering a bottle at 15 rupees versus let's say 20 rupees what the average consumer pay for Bisleri kind of or any other product for that matter, somewhere there is this mindset in lot of consumers that कि 15 रुपए का पता नहीं quality बराबर है या नहीं so from that perspective do we ever think of pricing it similar to other market prices which usually customer pay?
Pricing for the rail need is not decided by the IRCTC, it is the administered prices, and we have calculated, arrived after the reverse calculation. I recall a day when its price was around, I think, 10 rupees also. Then it became 12, then it became 15. And at that time, subsequently, the pricing in the market, in the other than railway market, also started going up. Now it has become 20, yes. Comparison wise, if you compare the water quality of the water, my water is better than any water, which I can prove it also. And it has been done by the Consumer Choice Awards, so many awards IRCTC has won on this account. Nowhere people can say that the water is inferior, for which we can think of having a as such. We have already we so far we have not referred the matter to Ministry of Railways for increasing the price. We are still watching and to gain the volumes first. Our model has been to gain by the volumes and get back the traffic of the COVID level, and then start working on these few issues. Maybe subsequently we may think of increasing the price and we may write to railway board on that. But as of now, there's no such thinking is going on, because the pricing is and are administered, decided by Ministry of Railways. They have provided us the market. It is the trains where the water in the prepaid trains were being served complimentary by them and counted in the other expenses, but we were being paid. This was the model.
Okay.
That is why the less pricing was there, because
Appreciated
customer
the
is never charged for the water bottle in the prepaid trains, has never been charged. It used to be complimentary. We are missing that particular, that is affecting our sales also. Whatever we are doing, we are selling it with our own effort. So we are trying to gain the market by selling it to our own effort. Maybe once the prepaid train starts, then this market is going to see a different shape altogether. Now we are in position to supply almost 70%, 60% of the traffic, and we are working at a less production level at this juncture. Maybe during this festival period, during Diwali period, our production level will go up because we may get more traffic.
Thank you for the color. We can take the follow from Abhay and then possibly we'll take Ashish after that. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity again. I just had one question. Recently, government came up with this asset monetization plan, in which there were a few things for railways as well. Do you think IRCTC can play a role over there? And if yes, in what sense?
If you ask me, assets, physical assets, we are a very asset light organization. But the digital assets, yes, we are a very rich organization. We have data to monetize within the guidelines issued by the MIT. So we are already working. We are in process of appointing a strategic consultant, for which the tender you will see it's going to be soon out. And we would be appointing a strategic consultant who will be suggesting and will be remaining with us for the entire monetization process within, so that the requirements are handled within the ambit of MIT guidelines. So otherwise we are asset light organization. We don't carry much of assets. Few 18 these rail near plants and few houses and few offices only we have with us, and few hotels.
Ma'am, I was more asking in the sense that if suppose railways decides to tender out the more trains or handling of railway stations, would you bid in that tender and
Yes,
then
yes,
yeah,
we are
that
thinking,
way?
our infra department is already working on these lines. Because with the dedicated freight corridor coming in, new setups are being made, so new running rooms are coming up, new requirement for the their fooding arrangement, etc., is coming up, that we are handling. We would be handling few of them. Of course, we would be exposed to the same tendering process that the others are. That is what we were avoiding. If it can happen through MOU, etc., it is good. Otherwise, it will be difficult for us to sustain with the private players. Private players, it is they were. This is kind of a catering is, in still is much part of is unorganized. So instead of competing with the unorganized sector, let's compete with the organized sector. That is what we are intending. Many new things are coming up. Railway colonies are coming up. The railways is going to privatize. You may find us there also. In the hotels also. Train, in any case, we are there, already there, and continue to be there in the futures to come. So we would be part.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. That's it from my side.
Ashish, you would like to go?
Yeah, thanks, Rahul. Hi, ma'am. Just one question from my side. I know you've discussed at length about the convenience fee. Sorry, but I also had a question on the same lines, but I would like to come from a different direction on this. So you said that obviously IRCTC has been making a lot of efforts to increase monetization on the non-convenience fee part, and then also monetization of digital assets, etc. And given if at all you're able to see a reasonable amount of success in these initiatives, and plus your inventory also now goes up with 2S bookings also coming through, would you be looking at reducing the burden on the customers from the convenience fee aspect, considering that there are a lot of these other avenues that come up for you in the future?
There are no plans to reduce the convenience fee, as there are no plans to increase it also. However, I can just share one figure with you which will make my point more clear. Out of the 149 crores that we had earned in the last quarter, 69% was from the convenience fee and the 31% from the non-convenience fee. And from the marketing, the sale of banners and the sale of advertisements, the total revenue achieved was to the tune of around 8 crores. And if you see my last year figure during the COVID times, the entire revenue which I earned through this effort was around 9 crores. So in one quarter, I could achieve that. So that is going to be add on, not the uh, not the driving away the convenience fee resources. So efforts are to add more and more non-convenience fee resources, because the convenience fee resources are going to exist along. We are also working very sincerely to bring our iPay and waiting for the necessary approvals. And we are also doing coming up with a different model of the API integration, revisiting our premier partner model, and with the co-branded card. We are also tying up with few more banks so that we can increase the revenue and tap the clientele they have, because each bank has its own clientele. Although the credit card usage in the country is going down, which we have seen in our website also, it has now gone less than 10%. But it still has a lot of potential because of the marketing offers being given by many of them. So let's wait and watch how our non-convenience fee resources are improving and keeping the convenience fee resources intact.
Got it, ma'am. That's very helpful. Thank you so much.
Is there any more question at this point? Because we are just completing our 1 hour, which has been allocated. If there's one last question, we can take that, or we can possibly close the call at this point. Okay, so I guess there's no more question right now, and we just completed our stipulated time as well. So I would like to thank ma'am for ever insightful conversation, and which definitely help us learn a little bit better about your diversified business. Thank you for your time, and we urge you to give more such opportunity to us in the ensuing time as well. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
good
you
day.
very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.